Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5 best laptop for photo editing. Starting at number 5. HP Chromebook 14 FHD. At the beginning of every profession, we all need its all implements. As for me, the laptop is essential for me to buy as a photographer and photo editor. About 20 years ago, when I started my profession and had a low budget, I was very distressed about it. I start wondering about the best one that should support me in every way. My nearest suggested I end the problem using an HP Chromebook 14 FHD. That was the latest laptop version for photo editing control. Before that, I had wasted a lot of time and finally met the exceptional one. This laptop helps me capture and edit commands unbelievably and embellishes my business in the utmost regard. Coming at number 4. Asus VivoBook 15 OLED. If you're shopping on a tight budget, get the Asus VivoBook 15 OLED K513. Its display resolution is only 1080p, but it has full Adobe RGB coverage, and since it's an OLED panel, it can produce deep, inky blacks. This configuration sports an Intel 11th General Core i5 CPU, 12GB of memory, and 512 GB of storage. The memory and storage are user replaceable, meaning you can upgrade them yourself. Its port selection includes 2 USB-S, 1 USB-C, an HDMI, and a microSD card reader. However, the USB-C port doesn't support video output or charging and is limited to USB 3.2 Gen 1 data transfer speed. Another thing to remember is that its OLED display isn't flicker-free, so it might cause eye strain if you're sensitive to screen flickering. At number 3. Lenovo Yoga 7i 2 inches. For a more modest mid-range option, we chose the Lenovo Yoga 7i 14, a very portable 2-in-1 with a 360-degree hinge. It's available with Intel 11th General CPUs, which are fast enough to provide a smooth experience, and its battery lasts around 15 hours of light use. You can get up to 16 GB of memory and 1 TB of storage, but remember that you can't upgrade the memory later on. The main compromise is that it only has a 1080p display with full sRGB coverage, so it isn't ideal for high-resolution material or people working in the Adobe RGB color space. Also, the display doesn't get very bright. It's fine for indoor use, but you might have visibility issues in very well-lit or sunny settings. The display supports pen input. However, you need to buy the stylus separately, and there isn't a place to store it for transport. Number 2 of my list. LG Gram 17Z95P laptop. If you don't want to spend too much on a high-end mobile workstation like the MSI WS76, the LG Gram 17 is a great option. This well-built model has a spacious and sharp 17-inch QHD display, but it's still very portable, thanks to its thin and light design. You can configure it with an Intel 11th General Core i3, i5, or i7 processor, up to 16 GB of RAM, and 2 TB of storage. Its battery life sits around 13 hours of light use and charges over USB-C, so you don't need to deal with a proprietary power adapter. You get plenty of ports, including USB-S, USB-C/Thunderbolt 4s, an HDMI, and a microSD card reader. Unfortunately, the display's factory calibration isn't very good, meaning you'll need to calibrate it before you do any work. A macOS alternative would be the Apple MacBook Air 13. This thin and light laptop has plenty of power to handle photo editing. The downside is a smaller 13-inch display. Also, it only has 2 USB-C ports, meaning you'll likely need a dock if you want to plug in multiple peripherals. Its M2 SoC is plenty fast, and the battery lasts around 10 to 11 hours of light use. If you want to save even more money, the older Apple MacBook Air 13 is still available. At its regular price, it's cheaper than the M2 MacBook Air, and it's often on sale, so you'll likely see it deeply discounted for Black Friday. Its M1 SoC isn't as fast, but still more than capable of handling most photo editing tasks. And number 1. MSI WS76 Workstation. The best laptop for photo editing we've tested is the MSI WS76, a 17.3-inch high-end mobile workstation. It has an incredibly sturdy all-aluminum build and plenty of ports, including a full-size SD card reader. You can configure it with a 4K display that lets you see every little detail in your photos. It covers the entire Adobe RGB color space, making it suitable for professionals in print photography. It isn't overly bulky for a 17-inch laptop, but it's heavy, so it isn't very portable. You'll also need to bring the charger if you want to work on the go, as its battery lasts less than 8 hours of light use. Performance-wise, its Intel 11th General CPU is powerful enough to handle complex, high-resolution photo editing, so you get a smooth experience with minimal lag or stutters. It also has an NVIDIA discrete GPU, although most photo editing software doesn't need much GPU horsepower, meaning you're paying for graphical performance that you don't necessarily need. You can get up to 64 GB of memory. Just remember that while the memory modules are user replaceable, they're hard to access, so we recommend getting enough for your needs up front to avoid the hassle. Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.